Hello, yeah, just wait for everyone to join in. Little bit of recap, okay, of the last class. तो कहाँ पे है आपका? हाँ ये formulas and equations. अच्छा, so again a very short. अच्छा, it's gonna be a slightly shorter recap, ठीक है? So the recap is के I mean we did pH scale, we did indicators, but what's important is what were bases? Bases were proton acceptors. They would, I mean, if they find if any base sees an H plus one, so it will go and grab that H plus one in water, right? And it will decrease the quantity of H plus ions, right? Or which were the bases? You had four bases. You had strong bases, oxides, and hydroxides, and you had carbonates and ammonia. They were slightly weaker bases, but they were like four bases. ठीक है, metal oxides, metal hydroxides. Metal का कोई काम नहीं है. The metal is only there because the negative ion does not exist alone. There's got to be a positive ion next to it. Okay. And the other thing was we did a list of acids. What did acids do? They would produce H plus ions in the water in the solution, right? And the quantity of H plus ions would go up, and relatively the OH ions would go down. Okay. So there was this list of acids that you had to memorize: TK, phosphoric, nitric, and hydrochloric and sulfuric, right? So we're going to jump to our first equation that we were doing. So the first equation that we were doing, we did a couple of questions. That was, that was metal hydroxide reacting with an acid and it would produce salt plus water, right? So I'm going to do a few more questions. Remember, metal hydroxide plus acid. It's a base plus acid reaction. These were the three questions I gave you. I'm just going to pick one of them, like the first one. Potassium hydroxide. Potassium, that's in group 1. So, kya charge hai? That's +1. So that's potassium. Hydroxide, you have to remember what a hydroxide is. That is, you can remember what list of ions. Make sure you copy ke upar front page pe somewhere on a piece of paper. It's always in front of you. So that is potassium hydroxide. Quickly tell me what is the formula of sulfuric acid?
SO4 minus 2.
The sulfuric acid. What is sulfuric acid?
HO2,
Right.
H2SO4, H2SO4.
ठीक है. Sulfuric acid was when a sulfate ion combined with an H plus one ion and together वो crisscross करो, it's going to be H2SO4. ठीक है, that is what. So remember ये different sulfate. This is sulfate and this is, but if you add an H to it, so it becomes a sulfuric acid, right? So going back to our equation, sulfuric acid is H2SO4. ठीक है. And now what is going to be the product? I told you that the OH is the base and the acid produces the H plus one. So the acid releases the H plus one, which goes to the OH, which accepts it, and they become water, right? And what is left? That's your salt. So what is left? K and SO4, right? K is group 1, it is +1. SO4 has a charge of -2. If you do crisscross, it's going to be K2SO4. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm going to do this one, okay? Just remember, this was your homework. You have to submit this. Iron 3 hydroxide. Transition metals के लिए, if you have a transition metal, the charge is written next to it. So you've got iron, Fe, iron is Fe, okay? Or iron 3 means Fe has a charge of +3. Hydroxide is what? It's -1. The formula क्या होगा? If you do crisscross, it's going to be FeOH3. अच्छा, what is, ये तो easy है, hydrochloric acid. What is hydrochloric acid?
HCl.
ठीक है, so that is just HCl. That is H plus 1 joined with a Cl minus 1, so it's just HCl. And the product would be that the H will go and it will be accepted by the base, which is the OH, and together they will form water. Remember, these are not balanced equations. And together they're going to form water, and whatever is left, that's your salt. What is left? Fe, and udhar kya left hai? That's Cl. Fe is group. I mean, he said that Fe is +3. हाँ वो नहीं ज़ैनब ज़ैनब का नाम ज़ैनब ही है। अच्छा ठीक है मैंने कहा कुछ अच्छा ज़ैनब इसमें ना वो when it comes to transition metals you can't look up the charge. You don't know what the charge is because iron has variable charges, right? So Roman के अंदर ना it's always written for transition metal except for one transition metal which is in that box. That charge is never written. वो zinc है ठीक है. You have to remember that no one is going to tell you what the charge of zinc is. You should know that zinc is always +2 ठीक है. So zinc is the only exception. They will not write the charge of zinc ठीक है. अच्छा Fe is +3, Cl is group 7, so it's -1. So what is the formula? It's going to be FeCl. It's going to be FeCl3 ठीक है. Is that clear?
जी सर.
अच्छा so these are the equations. So now since we have started doing equations, I'm going to start balancing equations as well. Okay. So I'm just going to write these equations neatly below. So we did a couple of equations. Okay,
तो बैलेंस करना है इसको.
we मतलब वो भी साथ में because we're making equations. So they got to be balanced equations, right? So the first equation was what? KOH plus H2SO4. And on the other side, you had K2SO4 plus H2. Okay, this is the equation. I've just written down the equation. I mean, remember, equations you don't show the working. You don't show the charges. Although the charges are there, you don't write the charge in the formula. But this is FeCl3. Although this is Fe is +3, Cl is -1, but you don't write the charges. Okay. So now you have to balance this equation. Now remember a rule for balancing equations. And that rule is, I mean, the first thing is that the number of atoms on the left side and the number of atoms on the right side, they got to be made equal. Okay, so you've got a number of elements that need to be made equal. You've got K, you've got H, you've got O, and you've got S. So there are 4 elements, and you have to make them equal on both sides. Achha, I'm telling you the rule, and you have to stick to this rule. Okay, because this rule works when it comes to balancing equations. The first thing you should I mean, the first thing that you should do when you're balancing equation is that you should balance the easiest first. And which one is the easiest? The easiest is the one, either लिख देते हैं, you've got to balance. Always balance and so on. You balance the difficult ones at the end. So balance the easiest first. So how do you figure out which one is the easiest? The easiest is the one that comes in the least number of places. So it appears in least number of places. So one by one, I'm just going to pick how many places is potassium. So how many places is how many places is potassium appearing in? Potassium is over here and potassium is over here. So kitni places hogi? That's 2 places, right? I'm just going to write a small 2 over here. Not balancing at the moment. I'm just trying to figure out who's appearing how many times. Sulfuric acid, so then it's H. H is over here. H is in this compound as well, and you've got H over here as well. So it's in how many places? It's in 3 places. Okay. Jab practice ho jayegi, then you don't have to do this right now. We're just doing it very systematically. And how many places is O appearing in? O is over here. O is over here as well. O is either bhi hai, and O is over here as well. So how many places? That's 4 places. So balancing O is going to be the most difficult. O is the most difficult to balance. अच्छा सल्फर, मुझे कोई बता दे सल्फर, how many places is sulfur appearing in?
2.
ठीक है
सर 2
सल्फर
है
का,
पर ऑलरेडी बैलेंस्ड है.
अच्छा सल्फर is over here and sulfur is, तो टू वैसे लिख देते हैं, sulfur is appearing in two places. अब बताओ which element should I balance first? मतलब कि
पोटेशियम.
ठीक है potassium it's easy, ठीक है. So how many potassiums do you have over here?
2.
अच्छा इसमें ना now once you make the formulas you can't change the formula, you can't change this into H2SO5, you can't change the formula, ठीक है, the formula is fixed. The only thing is you can only multiply it by a certain number, that's it. So potassium is 2 over here, so that's easy. I just need to do what? I just need to multiply potassium by 2. That basically means the whole thing gets multiplied by 2. That just means you've got potassium hydroxide, two compounds of potassium hydroxide. But potassium is balanced now. There are two potassiums. There was one over here, but I multiplied it by 2, so that is 2 as well, right? So the first one, the easy one, that is balanced. ये clear है? यार
यस सर.
क्यों ठीक है. अच्छा the potassium is balanced, but अच्छा who to balance next? According to the, I mean, you have to find the easy one, right? So that's going to be
सल्फर.
easy. Sulfur and easy. Remember, ये difficult है. This is oxygen is too difficult. People get stuck because they try to balance the more difficult one. So never try to balance the more difficult one. Okay, so we're going to go with sulfur, right? How many sulfurs do we have in this formula? इस formula में ना,
एक है सर.
there's only one sulfur. I mean, there are four oxygens, there are two potassiums, लेकिन वो जो sulfur है ना, there's only one sulfur, right? और यहाँ पे क्या है? That's also one sulfur, right? I mean, there are four oxygens, there are two hydrogens, but the amount of sulfur, that's only one. So sulfur is already, वो दोनों sides पे one one, it's already balanced, right? Is that clear?
यस सर.
तो अब आगे आओ कि अच्छा now ONH, which one should I balance? O or H?
एच सर.
So I'm going to go with the easier one. I'm going to balance H, right? So H, yeah, that's how many H's do I have over here? I've got two H's.
4
Or
हो.
either molecule there was one H, but since it's being multiplied by two, there are two molecules, so that's two H's, right? So two H's here, two H's here, that's a total of four H's, right? So यहाँ पे I've got four H's, right? Uh, so how many H's do I have over here? Just right side पे कितने हैं? There's just two H's, right? So किस number से multiply करूँ so that I get four H's?
2.
Okay, so I just need to multiply it by 2. That's it. ये हो गया. So H is done. अच्छा, now the difficult one, which is O. उसका कुछ भी ना करो, it's already balanced now. So if you systematically just balance the easy ones, the difficult one would automatically sort itself out. Count कर लो oxygens कितने हैं? That's 4. इधर कितने हैं? That's 2 oxygens. I mean, there was one oxygen, but it's being multiplied by 2, so that's 2 oxygens. So on this side, I've got a total of the 4 oxygens over here, 2 over here, so that's 6 oxygens, right? उस side पे कितने हैं? I've got 4 oxygens over here, and I had one oxygen, but it's being multiplied by 2, so that's also 2 oxygens. So 2 plus 4 कितने हो गया? That's 6, right? That is 6. So ये clear है कि the last one just automatically sorted itself out. Is that clear?
यस सर.
So now it's a balanced equation. So same equation. I'm gonna do another one, and we're gonna practice the same thing. So अब ये सारा लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. I mean, you can by just looking at the equation, you can try and figure out by the easy ones. Potassium just over here and over here. Try and balance that. Sulfur over here and over here. Balance that. ठीक है? Balance the easy ones. H तीन जगहों पे, it's over here, over here, over here. Then do that. Oxygen is in 4 places. Just don't do anything about it. It will, if the rest are balanced, then it's 99.99 probability that oxygen would also be balanced. So थोड़ी सी और difficult equation. We'll do calcium hydroxide reacting with phosphorus acid. So calcium is group 2, so it's +2, and hydroxide, that's OH -1. The formula क्या होगा? If you do crisscross, it's going to be CaOH twice. ठीक है? कौन बताएगा? What is phosphorus acid? Phosphorus acid.
H3PO3 होता है सर।
ठीक है, वो जाके देख भी लेते हैं क्या है. अच्छा, phosphorus acid is when H+1 combined with PO3 -3 and you did crisscross, it came out to be phosphorus acid, which is H3PO3. So it is H3PO3 or अच्छा H3PO3. अच्छा, again, it's again an acid-base reaction. The hydroxide will accept the H coming from the acid, and they will join together and they'll try and form water. ठीक है? So water gets formed. Or what is left behind? What is left is calcium is left and PO3 is left. So they're going to form the salt. Now calcium was group 2, so it was +2, and PO3 was -3. वो भी देखा था, PO3 is -3. So if you do crisscross, it's going to be Ca would be 3 and PO3 would be twice. ठीक है? So your formulas are all done. I think there's no mistake in the formulas. You clear it? It's not balanced, but the formulas are all. We have all sorted out the formulas. Is this clear?
Yes sir. Yes.
अच्छा, तो आगे इसको ना, I'm just going to write this neatly. So I've got COH twice, and I've got H3, PO3, and this is Ca3, PO3 twice plus H2. अच्छा, now I'm going to try and balance this. ठीक है? अच्छा, again, rule वही है. Balance the easiest ones first. So I'm going to write down all of them calcium, O, H, and I've got P. अच्छा, calcium is in how many places? It's in, well, यहाँ पे and यहाँ पे. So that's easy, right? It's so calcium is in 2 places. How many places is oxygen in? यहाँ पे, it's over here, it's over here as well, it's over here as well. So it's in 4 places. So oxygen would be like really difficult to balance. ठीक है? So it's in 4 places. I'm not going to touch oxygen. अच्छा, H पे आ जाओ. How many places is H in? So H is over here, it's over here, and it's over here. So it's in 3 places. अच्छा, P कितनी places में? P is over here and P is over here. So P is only in 2 places. तो किसको पहले बैलेंस करना है? It's either calcium and phosphorus and P. इसको बोल के 2. कह रहे हैं कि you start balancing, but balance calcium and P first. So let's pick calcium first. How many calciums do we have over here? We've got 3 calciums. A CH3, and so we've got 3 calciums. Uh, how many calciums do we have over here? We've got 1 calcium. So किससे multiply करो इसे? कौन बताएगा? What number would I multiply this with?
3 sir.
So I'm going to multiply this with 3, right? And remember, the whole thing gets multiplied by 3. ये ख्याल रखना कि, I mean, the whole molecule, I mean, you've got 3 compounds now. But लेकिन calcium का काम ना, calcium is done. We're done with calcium. We've balanced it. Next one, who should I balance? I'm going to balance P then, right? Okay, that is easy. So कौन बताएगा how many P's do I have over here in this thing?
Two.
Two, क्योंकि PO3 has just one P, right? So inside the bracket there's only one P, and it's becoming twice, right? So that means there are two P's. Oxen 6 okay because there were three oxens inside the bracket and it's twice, so that means you got six oxens, right? But anyways, there are two P's over here. So that means okay, I need to multiply this with किससे multiply करूँ?
Two,
इसमें
sir.
कितने P? So this one has one P, so I'm going to multiply it with two. So I have two P's. So P is done. So now I'm left with H and O. So I'm going to go with easier cons. I'm going to go with H. ठीक है? आप बताओ कि how many H's do I have over here?
Six.
Six. Like, OH twice means okay, that's two H's. Like, obviously there are three compounds, so that's going to be six. यहाँ पे कितने हैं? Three H's, but you got two molecules, so that's also six. Is that clear? So
Yes.
you've got six H's over here, you've got six H's over here. So in total you've got यहाँ लिख देते हैं. In total you've got 12 H's, right? So in total you got 12 H's. So अब बताओ कि what do I multiply this with? 12 H's चाहिए. You've got 12 H's on the list.
3.
If I multiply it with 3, so I'm going to get 6 H's.
Sir,
तो
six.
6 से करेंगे.
Because I need
Six.
12, right? Get it? Zainab, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Meera?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. अच्छा, so it's going to be so H is done. And the last one, which is oxygen, which would have been very difficult to balance. Oxygen was like everywhere, all over the place. So oxygen, if you had tried oxygen, you would never have been able to balance it. We don't care about oxygen. If the other three are balanced, then it's kind of very likely that oxygen is also balanced. Okay. So you don't even have to check it, but if you want to check it, it's you got two oxygens, because it's OH twice, but there are three molecules, so that's six oxygens, right? So you got three oxygens over here, but since it's two molecules, so that is also six oxygens. So you got 12 oxygens. यहाँ पे it's so on that side you got a total of 12 oxygens. Okay, PO3 that's got three oxygens, but it's twice, so that means it's six oxygens. Water has one oxygen, but there are six molecules, so that is also six oxygen. So oxygen automatically got balanced. You didn't really have to do anything. Okay? So balancing में ना, make sure you remember this rule, which is just balance the easier ones, and the difficult ones would automatically get balanced. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So, so remember, there are like six equations. Remember, this is the most important topic in chemistry. This is just one equation. We'll keep on practicing this. Okay, so this is our first equation, which is, I'll give my first equation. This is our first equation. A metal hydroxide reacting with an acid produces salt plus water. Okay, that's our first equation. We did all these equations, and the other equations are very similar. Okay, they are very, very similar. So we're going to jump to equation number 2 now. You can remember it's going to be also very similar. So what were bases? Hydroxide, the other base was oxide. So this equation is for a metal oxide. What was oxide? Oxide was just the oxygen ion. Metal का कोई काम नहीं है. Metal is just there because for a negative ion there has to be a positive ion attached to it. So a metal oxide with an acid, it produces what it produces. It's kind of the same equation. It's salt plus water. The only difference is okay, instead of the hydroxide, you now have an oxide, or it's gonna be will. So this is our second equation, which is kind of the same. So let's do one reaction: sodium oxide with hydrochloric acid. The sodium is Na. Na is group 1, so it's +1. Oxide is oxygen, which is in group 6, so it's -2. So formula क्या होगा? If you do crisscross, it's going to be Na2O. Plus, what is hydrochloric acid? That is HCl. H plus 1 and Cl minus 1 joined together. Uh, what is going to happen? The same thing. The acid will produce the H, and the oxide will accept that H. So the oxide is a base, it will accept the H. So together they will form water. The H and O will get together and they will form water. And whatever is left, that's your salt. So what is left? Na is left and Cl is left. So unka na formula, you have to make the formula again. Na is group 1, it's +1. Cl is group 7, it's -1. So it's just NaCl. So I'm going to neatly write this equation now. So it's sodium oxide plus you've got HCl. And the product is what? It's NaCl plus what? It's H2O. Okay. So that's your equation. So again, it's not balanced. So remember, balance the easiest first. And I guess in this case, all of them are easy. Na appears twice. Cl also appears just twice. H is also in 2 places. And O is also in 2 places. Okay, so in this case, this is an easy equation because all of them are easy to balance. Okay, you've got Na, O, H, Cl. All of them are appearing in just 2 places. So we're going to start with Na, which is obviously two है वहाँ पे Na. So I'm going to multiply this by what? I'm going to multiply this by 2. ठीक है, तो 2 NaCls. तो Na हो गया. अच्छा, we can do O. O is already done, so don't really care about it. H पे आ जाते हैं. So look at H. There are 2 H's. And यहाँ पे कितने H है? यहाँ पे there's only 1 H. So I got to balance that, right? So I'm going to multiply this by whole thing gets multiplied by 2. So H is done. And the last one is Cl, which कितने Cl है? That's 1, but there are 2 molecules, so that's 2 Cls. 1 Cl, but there are 2 molecules, so that is also 2 Cl. So that is also done. Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of the same equation, except instead of a hydroxide, it's now an oxide. ठीक है, ये बात clear है? Shanzeh, the meter is clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is this clear? So,
Yes, sir.
Achha, so we'll just practice more equations, right? So remember, all these acid-base equations are kind of the same if you just get the idea. And the first thing is, uh, you either have to memorize the ions and the list of acids, or have a page in front of you always where the list of acids and the list of ions are all written down, okay? So that you can easily reference them. So we'll just do more practice, right? Let's do calcium oxide with nitric acid. Plus nitric acid. So calcium is group 2, so it's +2. Oxide is oxygen and it's in group 6, so it's -2. So formula kya hoga? It's just going to be calcium oxide, right? What is nitric acid? What is the formula of nitric acid?
HNO3.
ठीक है, तो that's HNO3, ठीक है, that's H+1 and NO3 -1 joined together. Uh, the reaction would be the same. The oxide will accept the H coming from the acid, and together they're going to form what? They're going to form water, right? And whatever is left, that's your salt. So what is left? It's calcium and NO3. Calcium has a charge of group 2, so it's +2. NO3 is nitrate. It's got a charge of -1. If you do crisscross, it's going to be CaNO3 twice. Okay? So we're going to write this down neatly. So you got calcium oxide plus. So you got nitric acid. And the product is calcium nitrate. Okay, don't write the charges. And there's water. So here you have to be careful about who to balance first. Well, you got calcium, you got H, you got O, and you've got N. Calcium is in 2 places. So calcium is in 2 places. O, that's in 4 places. It's everywhere. So, O. So don't try to balance O. So calcium is in 2 places. O is in 4 places. Or H kitni jagah pe? H is also in 2 places. It's over here. It's over here. So it's easy to balance. So H is in 2 places. How many places is N in? N is over here and N is over here. So it's also in 2 places. So that means leaving oxygen, you should try and balance the easy ones. So starting with the first one. What about calcium? Is calcium balanced?
Yes, sir. Balance.
Okay, there's one calcium and there's one calcium over here. So it's already balanced, right? So calcium is done. So what about H? Is H balanced?
No, sir.
2 H's, right? Or यहाँ पे there's only one H, right? So that means I need to multiply this by 2. Okay, that means I got to multiply this by 2. Okay. So now my H is balanced. Acha, O ko don't touch O, don't forget O at the moment. We will just try to balance N. So look at N. How many N's do we have over here? There's only one N, right? But there are 2 molecules, so that means there are 2 N's. So यहाँ पे there are 2 N's. How many N's do we have? NO3 has just 1 N. But since it's twice, so that means you've got 2 N's over here as well. So N is also balanced. So the last error, which is oxygen, it should by default, you don't have to do anything about it. And you can just check, okay, there's 1 oxygen and there are 6 oxygens. Well, 3 into 2 is 6. And there's 1 oxygen. So that's a total of 7 oxygens. NO3 twice. NO3 has 3 oxygens and twice means that there are 6 oxygens and there is 1 oxygen over here. So that is 7 oxygens. So oxygen automatically got balanced. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
बाकी सारों को clear है? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, अब ये कि the other equations we'll do tomorrow, ठीक है? We'll just do more questions. एक और कर लेते हैं. अब आप लोग बताओ कि what is, let's say I have iron 3 oxide reacting with, what do I need to react it with? Let's say it reacts with sulfuric acid. Can you guys work out here what is iron 3 oxide?
Sir, iron with positive free charge.
Iron has positive 3 charge, or the formula क्या होगा? What is oxide?
O minus 2.
Okay, oxide is O minus 2. So what is the formula?
F Fe2O3.
Because that's the formula, Fe2O3. Acha, quickly, who remembers what sulfuric acid is? अभी क्या था कि क्या? What is sulfuric acid?
H2SO4.
Okay, that is H2SO4. Acha, बाकी तो same है. It's the oxide will accept the H coming from the acid, and they will form water. Tell me what the salt is.
Iron sulfate.
Okay, well, whatever is left. So what is left is iron. Acha, remember, एक चीज का ख्याल, you don't have to care whether there are two irons over there or not. ठीक है, over here, when you're making the salt, you make the formula again from scratch. Fe is +3. और इधर क्या है? It's sulfate, SO4, which is -2. So if you do crisscross, it's going to be Fe2. और SO4 क्या होगा? That's going to be 3. Is that clear?
Yeah.
और इसको
The 3H2SO4 and 3H2 balanced.
confirm है, देख लेते हैं. Fe2O3 plus, यहाँ पे let me write this neatly. Fe2, this is so this is Fe2SO4 thrice plus I've got H2O. Achha, again, FeHOS. Don't touch O because O is in 4 places. Don't try to balance O, okay? It's in too many places. And all the others are in just 2 places. Fe is over here, Fe is over here, that's it. H is over here and H is over here. So that's in 2 places as well. Sulfur is over here and sulfur is over here. So that is also in 2 places. So excluding O, but don't touch O, balance the easy ones. So क्या करना है? Fe is already balanced, right? There are 2 Fe's and 2 Fe's, right? Acha, so H is also balanced. 2 H's, 2 H's. So I'm just going to ignore O for the moment. Sulfur. कितने sulfur हैं? How many sulfurs do we have on the right side?
D.
3 sulfurs, right? Because SO4, I mean, SO4 has just 1 sulfur, right? So SO4 has just 1 sulfur and there are 3 SO4, so that means it's 3 sulfurs. यहाँ पे I've got 1 sulfur, so I'm going to multiply this by 3 so that my sulfur gets balanced. Okay, is that clear? Or O को ना, just ignore O even now. Loop back to H. Is H still balanced or not? How many H's? I've got 6 H's. I mean, there are 2 H's, but there are 3 molecules now, so that's 6 H's. So what number do I multiply this with? So यहाँ पे I've got 6 H's, right?
Sir, 3.
So if I multiply this by 3, I'll have 6 H's. Okay? So H is also balanced. Now all the easy ones are balanced. Oxygen को ignore करो. It's automatically balanced. Count कर लो. If you're not sure whether oxygen is balanced, you can double check this. 3 oxygens. 4 times 3 is what? It's 12. So यहाँ पे 12 oxygens, and over here there are 3 oxygens, right? So that's a total of 15 oxygens. इधर देख लो, it's SO4 4 oxygens, but 3 times that means 12 oxygens. इसमें कितने oxygen? That's 1 oxygen, but there are 3 molecules, so that means there are 3 oxygens. So that is also 15 oxygens in total. ठीक है, मैं left right side पे. So जो difficult one था ना, you don't need to even balance it. just balance the easy ones. The difficult one would sort itself out. ठीक है? चलिए clear है ये?
Yes, sir.
So I'll notes मैंने share किए थे उसमें I'll share the notes again, the updated ones. Just try and revise all of this because जो नहीं नबीरा क्या हुआ? नहीं नबीरा is this not clear? ये notes मैंने नहीं share किए. नहीं -2 where? When we are making the formula, नहीं वो that part is you go back. Where are the polyatomic ions? This one. ये वाला जो part है. You have to remember this. SO4 is always -2. Nabila, is that clear? Okay, but you have to remember that. Okay, SO4 is always, it's an ion that always has a -2 charge. Okay. And if what I mean by that is if somebody gives you, let's say, AlPO3, right? There's the compound AlPO3. Although they haven't written the charge, but you should know that you do PO3, you know, what is the charge on PO3? It's -3. You have to memorize that. Okay. Nabila, is that part clear? तो चलो ठीक है, let's continue tomorrow then, ठीक है? और make sure वो assignment, do the assignment that is posted on Google Classroom now, ठीक है? चलिए, okay everyone,
Love.
ठीक है, Allah हाफिज़.
Awesome, sir. Awesome.